I know, it's a bit odd doing a baby naming speech in this format, but we can't just call the child the little interpretus, so here goes. When I was a kid, we had a sort of micro farm. We had a few animals, we had a few crops. I loved watching corn grow and then picking it. Among our crops were strawberries. We'd pick them like everything else. But we took a special pleasure in finding and picking what we called volunteers. These were strawberries that would show up elsewhere, where we hadn't prepped the earth and carefully placed the seeds and weeded and given the plants support. These just showed up. It was almost like the land itself was giving us a little gift just waiting to be discovered. This child is our first volunteer. She wasn't carefully planned. No drugs kicked off the process. It took us plenty of work to get Nava. One rarely has triplets by accident. Even Yaniv needed help, although he doesn't seem to anymore. But this little girl, came along with no work at all, like a little gift waiting to be discovered. And this is the inspiration for her name. When mankind was created, the Torah says God made us in His image, male and female. The male possesses positive reproductive will. A female can't force a male to impregnate her, but a man can impregnate an unwilling woman. It is because of the male will that memory and male share the same root, zachor. This is why we practice brit milah, or circumcision. It is a sign that our reproductive will is in service to our relationship to God. But what of the female? I struggled with this for years, until 4 days before this little one was born, I realized the female represents actualization. God has both forms. He can both will and actualize, all in one step. But mankind can't. Adam, or man, may farm, but it's Adamah, the feminine earth, which yields her potential. We may plant strawberries, but it is Adamah that yields the fruit we desire. All of our will is useless without the power of actualization. In the Torah, God explains that He wants the Shekhinah, or the feminine aspect of God, to dwell within the people. We bring offerings, expressions of our will, and the Shekhinah actualizes the spiritual reality of our relationship with God. This is the normal way of things. We work for 6 days committing our physical will, and if we are blessed, that work will yield physical reality. And then we rest on the seventh and we give to the poor. We commit our spiritual will, investing in the timeless. And if we are blessed, the Shekhinah actualizes that spiritual reality. This is how holiness is realized. But in a few cases, the timeless divine invests in us. We receive the gifts of heaven, gifts which do not require our will. They are willed by Him and not by us. In a way, this child is just such a gift. We know how the child got here, but she required very little will. She's a gift from above. She's our volunteer strawberry. Unfortunately, Tut is not a very good name. So we went with Revital Hadas. Hadas, or myrtle, is the plant we use to satisfy the biblical command to take avot trees as one of the 4 species on Sukkot. The word avot with an ayin appears in only one other context, as the gold chains that connect to and wrap the representations of the Jewish people on the garments of the Kohen Gadol, or high priest. Gold in the Mishkan represents the divine. The avot of gold on the Kohen's garments thus represent God's unique embrace of the Jewish people. This is the most fundamental of spiritual gifts. God's embrace of the people is what enables us to come before Him. It is what enables us to have the relationship that we do. It is what enables us to touch the timeless. Revital means an abundance of dew. In the Torah, we are blessed time and again with the dew of heaven, but the blessing of dew is subtle. In modern times, we realize that dew doesn't provide any meaningful hydration to plants. Perhaps this explains why the blessing for dew does not cause the blessings for grain and wine. It comes after them as a crowning gift to the heavens. But why? Why is dew the ultimate blessing? Dew doesn't water plants, but it does something else. The human environment the dew provides enables plants to perform photosynthesis, their own cycle, in a much more water-efficient way. Even in a desert, they have the benefits of a water-rich environment. Our cycle is not photosynthesis, but holiness, creation, and investment in the timeless. In biology, water carries nutrients to cells and refreshes them. In Torah, water cleanses and renews us spiritually. With the dew of heaven, we are embraced by God's spirituality, even in a spiritually arid environment. The manna, the food God brings to the people in the desert, is brought by the dew. It is a physical manifestation of God's spiritual gifts. Put together, the name of Revital Hadas speaks to God's embrace of the Jewish people and the spiritually rich environment we experience, even in a world often bereft of holiness. Like this little girl, the Tal and the Hadas we benefit from are not willed by us. They are willed by God and given to us, just like volunteer strawberries, and just like this little girl. As many of you know, Hadassah is Queen Esther's Hebrew name. Rebecca's Aunt Esther never had children of her own, but she left a legacy well worth continuing. I remember her as a constantly bright and loving person. She had a remarkable joie de vivre, one that bordered on pure dorkiness. She even found taking the bus to work fun. Among other things, she had a deep love for her home city of Chicago and for her extended family. Sometimes she brought the two together, like when she bought Chicago Symphony t-shirts for everybody who came to my brother-in-law's bar mitzvah celebration trip. Her nieces and nephews were her proxy children. Her gifts to us played no small role in our ability to come to the land of Israel. Sadly, Esther passed away almost 5 years ago, a victim of Alzheimer's. We chose Hadas as a name in order to honor her and strengthen her legacy. While the dorkiness isn't required, we hope that our youngest child grows up embracing the joy that Esther captured so beautifully. May the unmarried find their mates, may the childless be blessed with children, and may the children of our people form the next link in our unending chain of connection to the divine. May we all be blessed with God's embrace, and may we experience the spiritual gifts of the heavens. And may we pass on those gifts with joy and with love, continuing our relationship with God from generation to generation. Thank you.